Michigan defeats Colorado State, and our final score 51, Michigan 51, Colorado State 7. I am actually in Ann Arbor. I got from a really good friend tickets to the game, so I actually was in the game, in the stadium, was able to kind of see what the fans got to experience. It was pretty cool. But before we get going, please like and subscribe, and also share the video out on social media. Also join Mark's channel, main channel, The Voice of College Football, and join his Discord to talk college football and pro football all the time, 24/7. Dre, how is it going, my friend? How you doing, man?
Doing well. I'm glad you got the chance to experience the Michigan stadium field, man, and got to be a Michigan fan for a day.
It was a really good time. When you're dealing with 100,000 plus people getting into a stands, into a stadium, there's no good way to do it. So there, you know what I mean? There's not like a cut and dry way to do it efficiently. It's just, you're just gonna have to wait. So I think once we kind of got over that part of it, you get a better understanding, and just, I think, overall have a better experience when you understand, like, there's just going to be a whole lot of people in some very small, surfaces to get into the game. So it was, obviously it was a good game. I had a couple takeaways, but I'll let you go first. You had a better vantage point than I did with being able to watch on TV. So I'll kind of kick it off to you. What were your thoughts of the game and just everything as a whole?
Well, I mean, for one, I mean, Michigan did their job today. We knew going into the game that they were the significantly better team. Harbaugh, historically, especially at Michigan, crushes teams that he's better than. So, in terms of, this is the status quo when it comes to Harbaugh teams facing inferior opponents. That being said, I thought I do have thoughts on the play calling, in particular when Cade was in the game. I think that the unexpected happened with, we were told that Cade was going to start game one and JJ was going to start game two. So the perception from that kind of message was that this was Cade's game through in and throughout. And next week was JJ's game. And that was not the case. Were
you surprised by that? Were you surprised?
I was, because I thought that the way that they were positioning these next two games to go was essentially a one-game tryout for both quarterbacks. That, we know we're going to win this football game. We're going to give you guys even shots to show what you got. And it felt like it was a typical approach to the game, like any other time. Like, we're coming here to win the football game by any means necessary. If we feel like we need to start running football a bit more to get in a rhythm, we're going to do that. We're not going to just keep passing the ball because we're trying to see what a quarterback can do. Like it just felt like the same type of approach last year, which is not necessarily wrong. I'm not criticizing the play calling. I'm just saying it was peculiar based on the message of what these next 2 weeks are about. To me, what I thought was, it's about finding out who your quarterback's going to be. You're going to win these football games. You should. There's no way you can lose. But who's going to be the right guy in a few weeks to lead this team going forward in the season? So, yeah, I'm not really criticizing what they did, but I was surprised by what they did. And, I actually thought that, and I know we're going to go into the quarterback situation because, to be honest, that's the biggest takeaway from this game. There were other really good signs as well, but I think that's the biggest takeaway. I actually thought that Cade played an okay game. I was a little bit disappointed, especially early on. He looked a little jittery, a little nervous. And when I text you, and I saw some people say this on Twitter as well, he looked like he was pressing a little bit to me. And let's just be honest. I mean, he probably feels the pressure. Look, Des, you said all the momentum is all from the time JJ got to campus was this would eventually be his job. And Cade has been trying to just fight him off and fight him off and fight him off this whole time. Well, I thought early on, it looks like he was trying to do a little too much and didn't really have his composure like he had last year. And you know, he has to find a way to deal with that better because this is just how it is. But you know, I thought K was okay. I thought JJ showed what we already knew about him, which is that he is a lot more dynamic than Cade. Um, he didn't necessarily make incredible throws this particular game. He only had 30 yards passing, I believe. Uh, but I thought that Cade lost some ground today, and JJ, you know, he did have a nice run for a touchdown, a couple nice runs. Um, I thought he gained a little bit of ground, even though he didn't even start. You know.
Yeah, it was surprising to me to see JJ as early as we did, because we talked about what would this look like as far as the QB, competition. Is it going to be, well, it's only Cade, and then we're going to go to, when it's time for QB1 to come out, are we going to go to the guys that we know aren't in the competition, like essentially your quote unquote backups, or is it going to be JJ? And it's interesting because when I was in the stands at the game, watching the game, and just to hear overall, well, I don't want to say overall, the people that I talked to and the people that I was close to within the stadium, talking to them about, the QB decision, it sounds like the people that I spoke to, it seems inevitable. Like JJ is going to win this as far as the QB job, and it also seems like the feeling of the people that I talked to was this is Cade's offense. This is what his offense is going to look like. Like it's never going to look real explosive. It's going to be conservative. It's going, and it's going to be like he's real big on checkdowns and protecting the ball, which are all positives. Like they're all good things. But when you talk about trying to win a job, win a QB job, explosive plays are part of it. And talking to some friends that I was here actually tailgating with, I mean, I hesitate to say it, but honestly, based on today's play calling when number 12 was in there, this was just a show job. Like they knew they wanted to go with JJ because there's nothing in today's play calling that made me think that they wanted to give Cade a shot at this job. And that's fine, but I'm still in the same camp I was in last week of, if you feel that way, that you feel like JJ is the guy, then just put him in and let's roll with that. Like, let's not do this, hey, we're going to play one guy one game and then another guy the second game. Because what I can guarantee is next week when, JJ and the Michigan offense is up 40-0, Cade's not coming in the game. Like it's not going to be a let's sub out JJ and put Cade in. Like I would be shocked if that were to happen. And to me, it's just like, that was probably one of the biggest takeaways I took, whereas this is JJ's job. Next week, he's going to start at the Hawaii game, and he's not going to give that up. He's going to be the starting quarterback. And to me, the play calling alone today was such that you're excited for JJ to be the quarterback, because I mean I understand that as far as pass game, there's progressions, there are plays that you dial up to be a shot play to where it's like, hey, we're gonna try to throw it down the field here, but to have essentially no plays in that first half where Cade threw the ball down the field, like you can't tell me that is 100% Cade's fault. Some of it's got to be the play calling, and I just don't. To me, it made it seem as if that was JJ's the guy. I feel super confident in saying that. And like I said, the play calling today, especially when he was in, let me know, because to me, there's no way. And when I kind of went away from the stadium, I think Cade had like 136 passing yards. And run game, he himself has nothing. So like, Dre, tell me a scenario where JJ doesn't have 200 plus yards of total offense next week. Like, there's no way that's not gonna happen. You know what I mean? Like, so I just think the QB decision is over. And like I said, even if it is something where, because we talked about it, a couple streams ago, where people are just like, well, it's easy to see what's happening with, this is the ode to Cade and blah blah blah. And I still feel the same way. If that was the case, then just play JJ. This is big boy football. This is big time football. We got a coach making millions of dollars. We've got, assistants and coordinators making close to $1 million every year. Like, the expectations are such that you don't have the option and the opportunity to placate or coddle somebody's ego. Like, if the guy is better, put him in and let's go. Like, let's not do these games. Let's not, because like you said, these are meaningful snaps. Like, I get it. This is not a high leverage situation because Michigan's going to win the game. There was no, there was no concern that Michigan wasn't going to win this game. But nonetheless, it's still reps and snaps in a live game situation that JJ could use no matter what. Like, I get it that he is he got a lot of snaps last year, but at the same time, he needs more because he just hasn't had that much. So to me, I feel like today's first half were meaningful snaps that JJ could have had. And if the coaching staff was that set on it, you should have just went to him and shouldn't have done this kind of gamification of this. Like, this isn't Madden. Like, you know what I mean? Like, this is serious. This is big time stuff. And these coaches make a lot of money to make these types of decisions.